All right, good afternoon. Thank you for being here at Trailhead DX. Hope you're learning a lot, and the next path in your journey is learning how you can grow your ISV business or build apps on Lightning communities. A little bit about your speaker. My name is Heyman Javle. I'm an ISV technical evangelist at Salesforce. It's really a fancy title, but all I do is I talk to my ISV partners and provide any recommendations on how they can use the best of the platform and build apps for App Exchange so you can distribute it to your customers and run a business out of it. I'm sure you've seen this a million times, but I still have to speak to it. So we are a publicly traded company. Base your purchasing decisions only on currently available functionality and not any forward-looking statements. So before I start, I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you. Thank you for being part of Salesforce, being trailblazers. I couldn't be here if it weren't for you all. So before I jump into the agenda, maybe we can just do a quick level set. So how many of you all, with show of hands, know what communities are or have used it before? Okay, quite a lot. So that makes my job easy. How many of you all are partners or have developed apps on App Exchange or even have used an app from App Exchange? Okay, pretty much everyone. So what we'll do is we'll spend some minutes understanding what Community Cloud is, what functionality it provides out of the box, and as an ISV, what customizations you can do, and how you can take that communities and build a managed package or distribute it to your customer. And we'll discuss some strategies around distribution and packaging. So just day before yesterday, I ordered my Adidas shoes, and me being me, I was too late to order it to get it in time to wear for Trailhead DX. But what I could still do is I could go to my app, I could log in, and since it's personalized, it can immediately tell me what's my order status. It's intelligent enough to give me options to, hey, do you want to recall this? Do you want to expedite this? So we expect these digital experiences, as and when we are moving and on our fingertips. So Community Cloud is actually the solution built within Salesforce that can help you build all these experiences. Using Community Cloud, you can build maybe a customer portal where customers can log in, access information, get their queries resolved. Or it can be a shopping cart experience. It can be a B2B website where your third-party vendors can come in and they can access their information. The good thing about it is it's built on the Lightning platform, so it's tightly integrated to all the CRM objects and workflows. So the best way to see your community is we'll just go to a live community and see how it looks. So what I have built here is I've built a B2B site where I have a user called Lauren Bailey, who is one of our third-party vendors who works at Ohana Incorporation. So let's say she comes to this website, which has been created using communities, and let's log in. And immediately when the user logs in, they can see a branded experience. So I have a header saying welcome, welcome Lauren. And then if I go to the right top and click on my profile image, I have certain options. So I can go to my accounts, I can go to my settings, and that's the basic information about the user that they can access. Now let's say the reason I came to this community was because I have an order and I want to cancel that order. So I go to the search bar and I say cancel order. So immediately you see I have a knowledge article that pops out depending on my search. So this is the knowledge that's built in Salesforce, and we have a way to expose that on our communities so that you don't have to do duplication of your work. Users can search something and they can self-serve whatever they want. And you can see we have intelligence Einstein also built into this. So if there are any related articles, we show that to the user and also show any trending articles that users have been clicking in. Now let's see, I am interested in learning more around certain topics. So I go to a tab, key topics, and I go to technology. So you can see that community members are discussing all these things in the community. It's a very collaborative environment. I can browse through certain questions, try to see if I can learn something. And if I have a question that I couldn't resolve using knowledge articles, I can simply ask a question which is as good as doing a charter post. Now let's say I have certain orders and I have invoices. So I can go to my account and I can access invoices. So invoices is actually a custom object we've built underneath, and we have exposed that on a community. So if I go to these invoices, I can pretty much click on one of the invoice and I can find out what's happening with it. So you see, it's very simple to show all the data that is built underneath on Salesforce on a community. Now let's go to home and a few other things. You see we have certain articles here. These are actually built in WordPress that we have got into the community. So we have a lot of options when it comes to content. It can be knowledge articles, it can be content you bring from outside, or you can build your own content in a community. So I can pretty much click into this and learn more about it. One more thing is you see a link here. It says register your purchase. Let's go and click that. And you can see it's actually a lightning flow. So the pause button gives it away. So we can create lightning flows and expose those on communities so that you have a way to interact with the user. They can click on a flow, give the inputs, and depending on their inputs, you can automate a lot of stuff for them. So this was quite a lot that we have built into this, but what if I tell you it's very easy to build this using just clicks, and you can also go further if you want to do code. Let's go back to our slides. So we have something called Lightning Communities, which are basically templatized options. You have certain templates available today. For example, there's a self-service template that you can use. The idea behind a template is you don't have to do all the work. Some work is already done for you, and when you give it to your customer as a partner, they don't have to spend hours and hours creating a community from scratch. They can just select a template, and that pretty much creates the home page, the navigation, and it drags and drop a lot of things on it. Community Builder is the interface where we build these communities, and there's also a concept called theming. So let's say I'm Coca-Cola, I have subsidiaries like Fanta or Coke, and I understand that these communities have to be branded according to their brand. So I can just create a theme. I can use some of the out-of-the-box themes, or I can create a custom Lightning component theme that helps me just change the whole look and feel of the community with a click. And then I already spoke about content. We have various options. So why don't we actually go into behind the scenes of how we do it? So in your setup, if you have communities enabled, you'll come to all communities, and you can see I have a bunch of communities already created. And when I click new community, I'm given the option to select a template, as I mentioned. So let's pick one of the templates, for example, customer service. This is one of the out-of-the-box templates Salesforce provides. And once you click into this, it creates a community with all the self-service functionality already built into it. Once that is done, you come to this builder where you have a lot of options. You can see it's a very interactive IDE. So we'll go one by one. You see here I have some components. So components are pre-built Lightning components that do a certain functionality and are reusable. I can drag and drop these onto a page to perform certain tasks. For example, if I want to show a calendar, I can select that and drag and drop it on my page. And then if you scroll down, you have a lot of options. You have files, you have various ways of providing information, but you also have custom components that I have created in this org. In fact, the welcome banner that we saw initially is a Lightning component that I created, which takes the user's names and displays it on the component. Here is the theme. So if you go to the left-hand side, I can say change the theme. And there are some out-of-the-box themes. Again, you can create your own themes so that customers can just select what they want. And right now, I'm using the web store theme, but I have an option to change it. Coming to content, you can see I have 3 options. So CMS Connect is the technology that brings in data from outside. So I have data from WordPress right now that I'm showing in my community. You can also use Salesforce CRM contents. So it can be files, it can be any object data. And then we also have a concept called native CMS, which has just gone GA, I think, the last release. So that allows you to create web content type content within your community, and it resides in your org. So this was all about UI and the building components piece of it, but then there's an experience layer on top of it. So we saw how we use lightning flows. You can use that to do automations. We have Einstein recommendations. And then we have a concept called audience targeting. So we expect our interactions to be personalized, and we have a way to do that in communities today. For example, you see we have a banner which says this page contains components that are only visible to a specific audience. So what I have done is, this is a CMS Connect component that I have drag and drop, which shows the WordPress data. And you can see it says it's only visible to external users. If I click onto that, you can see we can create audiences and assign audiences. So I have created an audience called external user, and those users are users of the community profiles. I've created one more for admins, so any user of that profile will be assigned that audience. Once you have created this audience, I can go to this component and I can say, make it visible only to a specific audience. So only those users, when they log in, can see that component, whereas the others cannot see it. You can also do this at a page level. So for a home page, you can see I have two variations. I have a home page and I have an admin home page. So the admin home page I've assigned to admin users, and you can see I have just dragged and dropped a rich text here to give certain instructions to the admin. So I've not done many changes to the page, but you can make the page look different miles apart depending on who is logging into the community. So we talked about all out-of-the-box options, but the real use of ISV, the real use of an ISV is building customizations on top of it. So we have Lightning components, custom Lightning components that you can build and give it to your customer. We have Lightning container components. So these are iframes contained into a third-party JavaScript on a Lightning component. And I'm sure you've heard this multiple times today, Lightning Web Components. This is our new technology that helps you build with all the new industry standards like JS, JavaScript, and then you can use it. The big advantage of using Lightning Web Component is it gives you huge performance gains over Lightning Components or Apex. And then good old Apex and Visual Force. If you still have Apex and Visual Force built, you'll have some time to transition over to your Lightning components, and you can still use that in a community today. So we talked about our building blocks, or how we can build it, the experience layer, but how do I distribute this to my customers? If I am a partner, I need to run the business out of what I have created. So there are a couple of concepts called templates and bold solutions. So if I come back to my builder and I go to my settings and developer, I have an option called export a template. And what this basically does is, whatever customization I've done right now, all the pages that I've created, all the components I've created, dragged and dropped, I've changed the look and feel, that all gets combined into a single metadata called the Lightning template. So once I export this, and if you come to your org and you search for Lightning community templates, you can see that this is the metadata that gets created. And as a partner, what you can do is you can go to your managed packages, and you can create a new package and add this metadata to that package. So when the customer goes and installs your package, this particular metadata is already created in their org. And once it gets installed in the org, the experience that the user will see is, they'll go to communities, they'll say, I want to create a new one, and you can see that you have your own customized branded template. So you can see this is by Salesforce, but this is by ISV Pro, which is the name of my developer org that I created the template from. And you can brand it on your own and then help your customer kickstart their community building journey. Then we have something called Lightning Bold Solutions. So Lightning Bold Solution is nothing but it encompasses it encompasses a template along with some apps and flows. So let's say you have an industry use case where you're building healthcare solutions or HR solutions. This is very handy because you don't even have the template, but you can also have Lightning apps and flows. Coming to the packaging options. One way to create this is through a standard managed package. So you can just choose to create just UI components or flows or something like that, and simply add it to a managed package and give it to your customer. The other option is using the community template metadata I talked about. So if you want to go a step further and help your customer actually create a community and save time for them, you can use a community template. And then finally, lightning bolt solution that helps them. You can give them access to flows or any other pieces that can run on that template. So if you're an ISV who already has a solution right now on App Exchange, the best way would be to create an extension. But if you are jumping into a new sort of a business and you're targeting just communities, we would recommend creating a new managed package. And if you already have your core business and now you want to expose that to communities. So for example, you're a financial service partner, you provide loan application, and now you want to give a portal experience, then we recommend using an extension package on top of your core package. And if you have an industry specific solution like healthcare, financial cloud, HR management, then use a lightning bolt solution. And the best way I would say to put your products in front of the customer is through App Exchange. So App Exchange has a specific category called lightning bolt solutions. So if you create those lightning bolt solutions, you can put them in that category on App Exchange. But otherwise, you can still create standard apps and put those on App Exchange. So the good thing about it is, it's a plethora of options. Customers go here. This is the Salesforce store. They can browse through your offering and use that if they decide to. So we covered a lot in a short time, but I do want to leave you all with some resources. Do go to the Salesforce Communities Overview page. There's a lot of good information. You can simply Google it. I've also created a blog on how you can use community licenses for what use cases. So if you have questions, okay, if I want to use PRM functionality, or if I want to use customer functionality, what sort of licenses are the best fit for those use cases? We also have charter groups on partner community where experts like myself and product managers are always answering your questions. So do leverage that resource, and there's always good old Trailhead to learn more. And finally, just want to thank you for being here. I hope you learned something. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be on the sidelines. If you don't have time right now, I'll be upstairs at the App Exchange Vista. So I'll be happy to talk that time as well. Thank you.